so again, another trip was when Guru went to Paris, and Guru was in Paris for a couple of days, and Guru was to give two concerts in one particular location, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. And again, I was like, also with some of the German, Guru had like, as in New York we had the Sri Chinmoy Center Guards, he had sort of a European section of it also. Mostly German and some Italians, I think. And so a couple of those guys plus myself, it was kind of like an open air kind of concert as venue, and we got to sit on the side of the stage and actually watch the concert for the first time, or for me for the concert for the first time. And so in the afternoon it was really, really hot. And we were like kind of sweltering on the side of the stage and everything. Then we got to go have a break, go have some good, good French food in a nice restaurant and whatever, and then come back. But in the evening, it was so cold, and you could see that Guru was freezing. It was really, really hard. But one thing I forgot actually with the Slovenian concert, that. Again, as I said, I was got in Guru's room, and it was sort of like downstairs and in a different sort of area from the actual concert hall. And what would very often happen is that Guru would practice and check the instruments that he was going to play in his room. It'd be brought to, they'd be tuned and do whatever, and we'd be brought to him. And I was actually guarding, as I said, in the doorway outside of his room. And at one point, Guru signaled for me to stand in the open doorway and look at him. And Guru then played like 3 or 4 different instruments as though Guru was giving me a private concert, which was really, really special. Because he knew that I would not be in the concert hall and I wouldn't get to see the concert itself. But as I mentioned before, that Guru sort of sent me ahead a few days before. And what had happened is, in New York, the day before I left, the evening before I left, he had composed a Slovenia song. And he had Kanan and Tanema's group perform it. I think probably a few other singers as well. And they recorded it. And so Guru said to me to take the CD and try to get it on as many radio stations in Slovenia as possible. But he knew that I had this CD, or the recording at least. And during the concert, there weren't so many main singers there. And Guru obviously wanted singers to sing the Slovenia song. We're in Slovenia, and it was going to be, the next day was going to become, it was actually going to join the European Union, plus it was going to become, a peace nation. And so, the few singers he had came up, but Guru wasn't satisfied with their performance. And so the next thing I know is another one of the guards from New York that was inside comes running down to where I am and says, "Do you have the CD? Do you have the CD?" And so I did happen to have the CD, so I gave him the CD, and then he went back in, and the Guru had them play the CD so they could hear, the audience could hear a really good performance. Yeah, a really good performance of his Slovenia song. So that was kind of, again, Guru was constantly showing me, I was very, very fortunate, and I always felt very fortunate, that Guru was constantly showing me how, he knows how to, what everybody wants, the experience everyone wants to have, and not only to give them joy, but to give him joy as well. So that everything is very, very joyful, and we never really worry about things too much. I have to add one little thing. When Guru had left Slovenia, we had a meditation at the center in Ljubljana. And after Prasad, we were all in the Prasad room, and one of the disciples asked me, one of the Slovenian disciples asked me, can I ask you a question? And I said, yes. And they said, we noticed over the last, Guru's visit, that sometimes Guru was praising you, and sometimes he was scolding you. But you were always smiling and happy. Why is this? And I said, well, we have to believe what Guru says in that, when he's scolding us or when he's praising us, it's always compassion. And when you learn that, it's always his compassion, how can you be upset? How can you be sad? So